It's the 20th of December 2018, just 5 days away from Christmas. Good morning and welcome to news here on Newday. My name is George Quinnin and we are live on DSTV channel 279. And coming up this morning, President Akufo-Addo defends controversial drone medical delivery system and his interaction with journalists yesterday. Aisha Huang and 4 other Chinese illegal miners deported after Attorney General discontinues with case. And on the foreign front, America's allies express shock over President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria. Details of these and many more coming up in the next 30 minutes. My name is George Quinnin. On to our very first story. President Akufo-Addo says the ban on illegal mining, Galamsey, has not been lifted and will not be lifted. Interacting with the media at the Jubilee House yesterday, the president noted it is the ban on legitimate small-scale mining which has rather been lifted.
The lifting of the ban on small-scale mining announced on December 14 follows the vetting of some 907 out of the 1,350 small-scale miners. Government in August this year announced the roadmap towards the lifting of the ban on small-scale mining. President Akufo-Addo insisted the ban was only on small-scale mining.
The ban on Galamsey, i.e. illegal mining, has not been lifted and will not be lifted. The ban on small-scale mining was never intended to be permanent. It was to enable government fashion a policy that will sanitize the sector and ensure that in future, small-scale mining, which has been with us for centuries, will not damage our environment.
Touching on agriculture, the president touted the abundance of food on the market.
We're currently exporting plantain to some of our neighbors. Quite a turnaround from when I was lamenting 2 years ago that we were importing plantains from Côte d'Ivoire. We also did not import a single grain of maize this year.
On railways, President Akufo-Addo said government is working to revive and resurrect Ghana's rail system to improve on the movement of persons and goods.
Rehabilitation work on the 56-kilometer narrow gauge line from Kujukrum to Takwa through Insuta is nearing completion. This will lead to the restoration of passenger rail services from Takwa to Takoradi for the first time since 2007.
President Akufo-Addo also lauded efforts of staff of the Ghana Railway Company Limited.
The Ghana Railway Company Limited, with its own workforce, started rehabilitation works on the 70.8-kilometer narrow gauge section of the Eastern Railway line from Accra to Nsawam and Accra to Tema. They did not have or need any foreign experts, so-called. They had the expertise, and those who did not were ready to learn, and they certainly had enough enthusiasm to carry them through.
And still on the presidential media encounter, President Akufo-Addo says the use of drones to supply essential and life-saving medical supplies will not be borne by the taxpayer. He gave the assurance at the media encounter in Accra yesterday.
The $12 million drone delivery project will be run by the Ghana Health Service and the Health Ministry in partnership with Zipline Ghana Limited. The project, according to government, is to ensure the distribution of essential medical supplies to remote health care centers across the country. The agreement has been passed by Parliament despite backlash from the minority and other stakeholders, including the Ghana Medical Association. The minority had described the project as a misplaced priority, which would not meet the basic needs of healthcare in the country. Government hence agreed for further broader consultation with stakeholders ahead of the implementation. At the present counter, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated the need for the project, explaining that it would not be a burden on the public purse.
The drone delivery service will save lives, decrease wastage in the system, guarantee health access for more than 14 million people nationwide, and employ over 200 Ghanaians. This program is not going to be run on the public budget. Corporate social responsibility contributors from private sectors players will pay for the service. I prefer drones flying to deliver essential medicines to our people than an investment in guinea fowls that allegedly fly off to Burkina Faso without any trace.
And let's still stay on that very media encounter where the Ghana Education Service is to receive $1.5 billion facility to address the infrastructure challenges in senior high schools across the country. And the president was speaking at the media encounter at the Jubilee House yesterday.
The first tranche of this facility will be used to build more classroom blocks and dormitories in our schools to give our schools appropriate facilities to meet the demands of the 21st century. And so we are on double track. And we're building the classrooms and laboratories and gradually turning the once deprived schools into well-equipped ones.
And President Akufo-Addo has reiterated no one found complicit in the collapse of the 7 local banks will be spared.
The government has set up a special investigations team to undertake criminal investigations into the failures of all 7 banks for possible prosecutions by the relevant state agencies. No one found complicit will be spared. The Bank of Ghana is conducting its own internal investigations into the conduct of its officials, past and present, that could have facilitated wrongdoing at these banks.
And away from the presidency, let's move to Parliament, where the first and second sessions of the 7th Parliament of the 4th Republic has gone down in history, but not without some form of controversies and arrangement and disagreement by MPs were rife on Parliament. Here are some key highlights of Parliament in 2018.
The first and second sessions of the 7th Parliament of the 4th Republic has gone down in history, but not without some controversies, agreements and disagreements by MPs. Here are some key highlights of Parliament in 2018. Members of Parliament began the year with a recall of the House by the Speaker, Professor Mike Oquaye, for a special sitting demanded by the minority to cause an investigation into allegations that the Trades Ministry sold seats to expatriates who wanted access to President Akufo-Addo at the Expatriates Awards held in December 2017. The controversy was popularly referred to as cash for seat. MPs had returned to Parliament for the emergency sitting and a 5-member committee was set up to probe the allegation. The committee met with the various parties involved. With the exception of the expatriate businessmen, the rest of the sittings were held in public. The Speaker of Parliament, Professor Mike Oquaye, in the course of the year, was sworn in as President of the Republic in the absence of both the President and the Vice. The issue of MPs' security became topical in the course of the year. Some minority MPs wanted the identity of some security personnel who had been detailed to Parliament to beef up security in the House be made known to them, as they suspected such persons were members of the NPP Invincible Forces. This led to tempers flaring up in the chamber.
I, as a member of Parliament, I see the list of those people, their name and their pictures, for me to be satisfied that they are not from a certain group of people who would rather come and make me more insecure. When parliamentary service is doing recruitment, they don't have to report to Parliament. You have the opportunity to speak if you wish to, but the rules are that when Mr. Speaker is speaking, you keep quiet.
We'll bring you more on that very development in our subsequent bulletins. But still in Parliament, the majority in Parliament has dismissed calls by the minority for a presidential probe into the alleged inflated Ghanaian embassy building in Oslo, Norway. The Vice Chairman of Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Kweku Aprechum Sapon, said there is no need for the President to waste state resources on mere allegations by the NDC MPs.
The minority in Parliament on Tuesday called on President Akufo-Addo to open a full probe into what they say is the inflated price of a building suspected to be Ghana's embassy in Oslo, Norway. Addressing the media in Parliament, minority spokesperson on Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa insisted the country had bought the said property contrary to claims by the Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayoko-Botwe. He further described the transaction as bad. But speaking to the media in Parliament, the Vice Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Kweku Aprechum Sapon, who is also the MP for Mampon, said the minority MPs are only engaging in propaganda and there is no need for an investigation into the matter.
The opposition and the ranking member again has been peddling untruth. They have always been referring to a six-bedroom property for which he says we are paying 12 million. That is not the case. The property that we express interest in to use as the chancery is a 15-bedroom, 15-bedroom property, not a 6-bedroom. So again, you see, mischief is at work.
And the Attorney General has filed Noli Prosequa to discontinue with the trial involving the Chinese lady accused of engaging in illegal mining, N. Huang, popularly known as Aisha Huang, and 4 others. The 5 Chinese nationals have been deported to their country.
The court discharged the 5 accused persons based on the application filed by the Attorney General, which was presided over by Justice Ecole Baden. The individuals were immediately processed by the immigration and airlifted out of the country. Aisha and her accomplices were arraigned on May 9, 2017 for engaging in illegal mining at Bipotintin in the Amansia Central District of the Ashanti region. She was charged with 3 counts of undertaking small-scale mining operations contrary to Section 99(1) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, providing mining support services without valid registration with the Minerals Commission, contrary to the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the illegal employment of foreign nationals, contrary to the Immigration Act 2000, Act 573. The other 4 accused persons were charged with disobedience of directives given by or under the Immigration Act. According to the prosecution, their checks at the Minerals Commission revealed Aisha had no license to operate either a mine or a mining support services company. The visas issued to all the 5 Chinese by the Ghana Embassy in Beijing, China, the prosecution contended did not allow them to work in Ghana.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching news here on Newday with me, George Quinn. And now the period just before Christmas is when most Ghanaians do a lot of shopping, and traders crowning the year with bumper sales. Traders say the current congestion in the Central Business District does not match sales recorded.
It's 8 a.m. at the Central Business District in Accra. Jostling, shoving and pushing were the order of the day as shoppers weaved through the crowds to haggle over the prices of items. There was heavy human traffic as well. Ironically, some traders who spoke with the news team complained that patronage this year had been very low and slow compared to the previous years.
This place is congested with people, yet there are only window shopping. This season is one that has recorded low sales. We have been here since dawn and patronage is very bad. The consumers are not buying anything.
Others were hopeful business will pick up.
Probably we are hoping, believing that it can shoot up. As years proceed to an end, we can see people dropping in to buy their stuffs, and we are believing, we are preparing for that.
The season also provides an opportunity for headquarters, also known as Kayaye, to also cash in.
It has been okay, but the other months there, you haven't seen nothing. Because the Christmas, all the students from schools and those from the outside the country, Cote d'Ivoire and this thing, they have been coming.
Christmas is here again, or we're a few days away from Christmas. And as usual, the event is characterized by a lot of buying and selling here at the Central Business District. There is vehicular and human traffic, lots of people going in and coming in, some coming in to buy, others coming in to sell, and of course, those who are coming in to just do window shop. We are getting the mood here to let you know how the euphoria is building up here at the Central Business District. For TV3 Business, Grace Hamwasari, Accra.
My colleague Grace Hamwasari coming through with our report. Surprisingly, it's always been the same song by traders that we don't buy anything, but we're keeping you updated in our subsequent bulletins with regards to sales by traders. And now onto the foreign front. President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw all U.S. troops from Syria has been met with heavy criticism. Mr. Trump made the announcement on Wednesday, asserting that the Islamic State ISIS group had been defeated, but major allies, including senior Republicans and foreign powers, have disputed the claim and say the move could lead to a resurgence of ISIS. U.S. troops have helped rid much of Syria's northeast of the jihadist group, but pockets of fighters remain. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who is one of Mr. Trump's supporters, called the withdrawal decision a huge Obama-like mistake, and the UK government pushed back on the president's assurance that ISIS had now been defeated. And that's how we end news here on Newday. You can get more news updates on our website. It's 3news.com. Today is Throwback Thursday, and the legend Akujin will be here in the studios, and I hope you would enjoy every bit of this program. I'm Josh Quenny. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Man, those skills that made him a world dance champion some time ago, and always show. You know, it's a season of love, and so when you hear those love songs,
you got to boogie, shake your body.
Which we are the season of love. Love that is love, not the kind of
not the other kind of love. Okay,
it's a season of love.
But what's love?
I have always said that I don't believe in that thing. I don't.
Called love?
Yes, I don't.
Why don't you believe in love?
I think it doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
So the people saying, "Oh, I'm in love. I fell in love."
No. That, you see,
you broke my heart.
No, it is just to get the other person to get closer to feel that you care about him.
Okay.
But really, I keep asking, if it exists, why is it that there's so much chaos in marriages, in relationships, in the home, in society, in the country, across the world? If love exists, why is it that there's so much chaos everywhere?
Why? Right.
Because I'm supposed to love Johnny.
Yeah.
You're supposed to love me back, so that I wouldn't
shouldn't have
think of
friction and anything like that. It makes sense. I mean, if we can't have harmony, then where's the love?
That's the point. As for marriage, God just wants us to keep procreating, and so He said, "You live with her or him."
Is that the case?
Oh, really? But come on. I mean, how do people go and stand on the altar and say that for better, for worse, and then at a point in time,
why is it for better and for worse?
I thought they said love is what? It doesn't fade, it doesn't change, it is always same. Why is it that people divorce?
But they get frustrated. They claim they get frustrated.
So even in the frustration, love is there. So you should keep the two together, but it doesn't.
Anyway, how you doing? It's Thursday. Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. What is love? Some people love their pets more than they love humans.
You see?
Yeah. So some people chew their pets too. Dr. Nana Majima, good morning to you, and we wish you all the best as you get ready for the big day on Saturday.
I'm sure she's rehearsing her lines.
Yeah, I mean the things that she will go and say.
I, Dr. Nana Majima. No, I, Dr. Angelina Nana Majima.
Do solemnly swear.
Take Dr. Emmanuel Addo as
my lovely wedded husband. To have and to hold.
Good morning, Mr. Addo to be. Don't worry, it's one of those days. The days to the final day, we need to give it to you because after you've done it, we cannot say it.
So we need to let you know. I'm sure by now you're inspecting your clothes and everything.
All right, we'll be with you. Yesterday, Johnny, when I went home, I took off every piece of cloth I had in my wardrobe.
Everything?
Everything.
We're going to give it out?
No. I was searching through the pockets.
To find what?
Yesterday, the president said that there is money in our pocket, but perhaps we're not looking deep enough.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let me try.
You were looking for money, but you have not put money in your pocket.
No, but
how do you
But the president said that there is money in there, but we're not looking deep enough.
Okay.
So I decided to search every trouser. Search.
Just to prove that there's
those
money
everywhere, including even the.
Did you find?
No, Charlie.
You didn't find money.
No.
Oh, how? But had you put money there previously?
Well, the president said we're not searching.
Maybe whoever washed for you took them out.
Okay.
Maybe whoever washed for you.
But the president said there's money in our pocket because he's paid our children's school fees. There's abundance of food on the market, and
we're exporting some.
Yes, we're exporting. So money should be in our pocket. So I tried to see, but I didn't find any. Like you said, maybe the person who washed it took the money away.
Anyway. 02021666633. That's our WhatsApp line. We want to rant with you on what you think or make of the president's encounter with the media. Of course, Winston and Bright will be here later, myself. But we would want to hear from you. What do you make of the president's encounter with the media yesterday? Your thoughts and comments. Was it good? Could it have been better? Was it bad? Was it just okay? Was it? I want to know. We're curious. We want to know. What do you think? Yeah,
I'm sure it was watched all over.
Yes, it was. It was highly advertised, so it was watched all over.
Except that those of us who were there think that we didn't get the opportunity to ask the questions. The president came in and he was in a hurry to leave us, and so we actually didn't get the opportunity to talk.
But I was surprised though, because last year, similar thing happened with Dr. Mustafa Hamid, who was in charge at the time. When Dr. Mustafa Hamid had mentioned that, we will go on and pick some more questions, the president then cut in and said, no, I can't be here for all that time. And this year it happened again. I can't be here for all that time. So then the question is, when will the president be fully available for? Because not every single question during the year gets answered by the president. For example, I've been asking about the mystery man, how Pius was moved from the sports ministry to the information ministry, and in between the mystery man in the Australian. I've been asking that question. Nobody's answering.
Be unveiled before the end of the year.
Well, but nobody's answering that question. So if the president comes, he delivers a speech for 40 minutes and then takes just about 15 questions, that is, and then says, well, I can't answer. Meanwhile, before you got in there, I get the sense that you were asked to write your names, and then the sector you'd like to ask a question within, and then all
so
that.
if you recall, the Kojo, the information minister, Kojo Ponkroma, had mentioned a set of names. He actually mentioned two sets.
Okay.
So it was when he had mentioned two set of names that the president signaled that, hey, I can't be here for the time. And so right after the first set, then we had to call off the day.
But usually I think that we should have what do you call it, a duration, a standard duration for it. And yes, we should have a standard duration that, look, the president comes, the entire thing is for 2 hours, 3 hours. The president speaks for X amount of time. And if it's for 3 hours or 2 hours, okay, which wasn't the case yesterday, the president can't take 40% of the time and say that the 60% is left for all pressmen in the country. At least over 70 people were invited. So if you take 15 questions, when actually more than 15 had expressed interest to ask questions, then what was the essence of inviting them to come and sit with you, to hear what you had to say, we always hear because we have presidential correspondence. We could have used the press release anyway.
Right. My candid opinion is that the organizers would have to work out a better way to do this. Other than that, it will become one of the rituals that every president would want to do. Gather media men in my office, spend just some 10 minutes with them, and
call it an encounter with the press.
Yes. So I think organizers should sit down, find a way to work around it and make it more interactive. And this thing, I'm sure, has come to stay. So presidents in future should cut down on
the length of time
lengthy speeches they give in answering simple questions, right? So what has happened to this project, and it becomes a 20 minutes answer.
Well, maybe he wants to be comprehensive enough for you to be able to understand.
You see, when you do that, that is when then you trigger further questions,
follow-up questions,
and which journalists do not get the chance
to ask.
do.
Right.
So, for instance, when Madam Ayoko Botwe tried to explain that the country had not paid anything to the whoever
it was in Oslo,
owns the Oslo building.
Oslo.
Then the question is that person working there? Because the minority is saying that the person is working there. He's working on refitting the structure. So if we have not paid anything to him, is he working on the structure? We saw a video circulating that suggests that someone is working on the facility, which suggests it's the owner. So if we have not paid anything to him, the work that he's done, are we going to pay?
Right.
Or would something be paid?
Or maybe he's the maintenance officer at that office.
Well, so
or we don't have a chancery. So how do we get a maintenance officer there
we don't.
in the first place?
So
legitimate questions.
Yes, so we can shorten the answers and allow journalists the chance to ask.
I also believe that last year the proposal that came that we could perhaps have a regional version of it, so that we don't concentrate everything in Accra. It doesn't give our other brothers and sisters, like Kwame Dengra came to ask about a national theatre in the Ashanti region. It was a promise that was made. So if we had a regional thing, maybe in that upper belt, lower belt, or middle belt, and then we can get everybody to have a fair share of the president and ask him their questions. Because I'm sure they also have their own peculiar issues that are, I mean, I can gather that somebody from up north want to ask about the Bagri Dam. And why we have let it go on over the years and kills people, destroys their farm. Somebody want to ask about. I would want to ask about the gutters that are dirty in Accra and why he's still near Kwaku or Kujiaman and nothing is happening. You know, so we should have a regional balanced thing. Yeah. Anyway.
So the morning is packed as usual. We'll go through all this plus the newspapers. We'll get into Christmas, so a lot more entertainment this morning for you. It's Thursday. Thanks so much for spending your morning with us. We're stepping on the brakes. When we're back, the show continues.
Welcome back. Now, we'll be ranting with you digitally, so we'd like for you to send your thoughts and comments about the president's encounter with the media yesterday at the Jubilee House. You can always send your WhatsApp messages on 02021 66633. That's 02021 66633. Now, there's a 60-day challenge to help you lose weight the right way. It's been happening, and this will be the 6th season. The benefits are there. But have you been challenged enough to join them? This morning, I've been joined by the award-winning Akoto de Gross, certified weight loss expert, and Be the Bully, she who likes to bully, for you to trim and fit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, Johnny.
B is always an early bird because by 4 a.m. she's up. She's knocking on people's door. Get up, get up. Why do you do that?
Yes, I do that because somebody like you will want to do exercise and you still want to be at work on time. So I would rather sacrifice to be in your house by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, just so you can get your 1 hour exercise.
It's
or
so
14.
annoying, yeah?
It's sometimes, that's what you may think, but once you start, it's always the starting, you know, it's always difficult for people to take the step, but once you start, it becomes a habit. You know, Akoto eats a weight loss aspect.
I know.
But now he can train you.
Right.
Akoto can train you. And it's like that. Once you start, then you know that, oh, as a fitness instructor, I should know how my clients, how do you get your client to lose weight?
Right.
Then you know that you have to also add the aspect of how to eat well, and then how to eat well to add it to the exercise. So you know that you are just a fitness instructor, but you end up becoming a weight loss expert too, because your people want to lose weight. That's why they want you to train.
Absolutely.
And you know that the training will just give them about 30 or maybe 30% or 35 or just 30%. So the rest will be the eating. You understand the dieting. How does the person eat?
How does it go?
That's right. So
a few years ago, you were overweight and out of shape.
Obese, actually.
Yes, you were obese. Now you turned your situation around, and congratulations to you and
so
the many
much.
that have walked the path and been able to change their lives. Sixth season of Fat to Fit, what's in there?
You know, the challenge has really done a lot for Ghanaians in terms of shedding of weight and embracing a healthy lifestyle. I didn't know that it would go all this way, but I believe that we are here to stay for the longest
3FM Fat to Fit
challenge. Yes. So this is the seeds the right way. Yes. So on the sixth season, it's going to be 60 days again.
Okay.
We are starting on the 12th of January. 19.
So you have eaten all the chicken and
everything.
Yes. And you burn it on your behalf.
Exactly. Yeah. Come and join us and shed off some weight. Because, like Ghanaians have put on a lot of weight. In a recent study by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, it said that almost 50% of urban Ghanaians or adults are either obese or overweight. And when people are in that category, then it increases their risk to several NCDs, non-communicable diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, high blood pressure, and a whole host of others, which can all be prevented once you embrace a healthy lifestyle, which this program seeks to, achieve. And so it's going to be another thrilling, exciting, also competitive.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you want to find out who has lost the most weight.
Right.
And crown the person.
If I register, Bidabule, what do I get? I register, I come and pay money to get on Fat to Fit.
Actually, it's 200 cedis.
200 cedis
to register. Yeah. Which is really affordable.
I pay 200 cedis, Bidabule, what do I get from you?
You get a lot. First and foremost, we are going to give you a beautiful t-shirt.
That's right.
And then we'll give you, in fact, the first day we're giving everybody a gallon of sugarcane lemon juice, fresh squeezed sugarcane lemon juice, natural. In fact, what we're doing is we're bringing the machine here to squeeze the sugarcane in front of you. It's not like you're going to add some sugar somewhere. No, this is natural sugarcane that we are going to juice it. Juicing it, and lemon helps you to lose weight, and it's difficult to drink the lemon. Most people find it difficult, but once you mix it with the sugarcane, and then the sugarcane also helps you lose weight.
It does?
It does.
I thought that people said, well, if you eat sugar, that's carbohydrate, complex sugar.
This is natural. It's like eating any fruit. But this, in fact, if you Google the benefits of sugar cane, it will boggle your mind.
Wow.
Sugar cane does a lot of things. Prostate cancer, it can help you to prevent. Even breast cancer, sugarcane juice can help you to prevent.
I see.
Yes. I have always loved sugarcane. So when I saw the sugarcane machine, I was like, I have to have this machine.
I see.
And then I Googled and I realized that it has a lot of health benefits. So we are going to be giving some of them. In fact, the first day is going to be free, but then after that, we'll be giving them some of the juices we give people is this lemon juices. But it is we normally use honey, which we are not very sure of the honey. But this one we have the sugar cane.
This one is there natural. On our screens now, we can tell some persons who have lost weight the right way through 3FM's Fat to Fit. How difficult is it to lose weight?
Jenny, it is.
Your stomach is popping out.
Even before I talk about the difficulty.
In Ghana, when you look like this, you're fine.
Exactly.
Why you fine, pa?
Why you fine, pa? And once you start losing weight, the first question is, are you sick? I got that a lot, and I'm like, no, I rather look healthy and I feel great.
Exactly,
I feel good.
How difficult is it?
It really is. I always say that, to really lose weight, you need to have a goal in mind. You need to have, you know, I always use the example of Christ. He said that the Bible said that for the joy that was set ahead of him, he was able to endure the cross. So if you don't have any joy ahead of you about, you know, what you would get from losing weight, you cannot go through the process, because the process really entails a lifestyle change, and we know that changing habits is not easy. Right, you're going to change how you eat. You're going to, you know, get more active, which maybe you've not done for years. And so trying to do all these things doesn't come easy. But if you have a goal in mind, like Christ had, and you are excited about it, you can be able to pay the price, like many others have done. And like you were asking B about the benefit people would get when they join the program. I mean, it goes beyond the juice and also the t-shirt. We are going to give them meal plans every week. Every week we're going to have workout sessions with them. We are going to put them on a group and motivate each one of them. I mean, it's really a lifestyle change program. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'd also plan some workout as well. So it's really they are in for a lot. You know, they are going to get vouchers from our sponsors, discounts. It's going to be amazing.
It does appear to me in the shots on the screens that they become a family, literally.
Exactly, we become
exercising
one. You know,
together.
We are not a very big family, and so this season we are hoping will be bigger, better. We're going to get, you know, apart from the people who are already on the challenge, we're going to get new people. You know, and it doesn't matter where you are staying, whether you are in Kumasi, Cape Coast, Takoradi, you can still join the challenge.
Do you climb the Pediasi Hill?
Yes, we do.
And when you climb, when you finish, you go and have a motu.
No.
We have juices.
We do juices. No. We eat healthy.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to do what people do.
The others who climb the hill, they get a top and they go for
they even make sure they go to where there will be omoto and fufu in the morning.
No, when you do that, it's square one. You are kind of, you know, because you are burning off calories. So now if you're going to eat this, then you are bringing back all the calories.
And this time you are even bringing in more. Because your system
But they want to live good.
No, but living good also comes with eating healthy, you know.
So what, you stop eating meat?
I mean, we do a lot of plant diet, I must say, because plant diet has been proven over the years.
You're converting them to vegetarians.
Sort of, but not necessarily. You know? But like I said, you know, no pain, no gain. Something has to give, you know, and you want to, you know, when you have accumulated a lot of weight and you want to, you know, lose weight, you definitely have to, you know, make some
My final
sacrifice.
question to you. So after the 60 days, what happens?
That's
what happens to
question.
me if I lost weight within the 60-day challenge, like Coco wants to lose weight?
Exactly.
If you lose weight after 60 days, what happens?
Maintenance is a great thing. You know, I have lost weight for about 4 years now, and I haven't gained. You know, I always say the same things you did to lose weight are the same things you have to do.
But you have to keep.
People lose weight and they stop to exercise. Now they go back to drink all the sodas and the pizzas and all that. You would put on the weight again. So try and see it as a lifestyle change. You see, so that's how you would be able to maintain. But we also have an active WhatsApp group, and we try to, you know, keep up with all the participants to make sure that, you know, yesterday one of the participants told me that, you know, her before and after I was showing, and she said, hey, Mr. Kuta, I've put some amount of weight. I said, hey, watch it. You are now an ambassador. So don't disgrace us.
Okay, so let me. I said my final question, but B, maybe you have the closing thoughts. Here's a lady who got attracted. Her husband got attracted to her because of her physique.
That's right.
You know, she has flesh on her bones in the right places, and then she comes to do fat to fit. She loses it. Her marriage may be in jeopardy because the man comes and that is not what I married. You know. What would be your closing thoughts to such a person?
You see,
the man is worried that, look, I can't get what I want to hold on to.
You can still
get. The woman says, this is what I'm giving you. Take it or leave it.
No. You see, what happens is that if you are that plumpy and you are healthy, because you may also be slim and be obese inside, I should say. You understand? So sometimes somebody may look a bit plumpy. Maybe she was born like that. But you see, the problem and the reason why we are asking for people to lose some weight is that if you are overweight, you are not able to do a lot of things. And it's not healthy. So we
including
are
the
just,
children?
Yes.
Can the children join?
Yes, children can join, but we have the way we go with the children, because children fats can be lost as they grow. So you don't really want to push children to lose fat. And we don't also push people to lose. We just want them to live a healthy lifestyle.
That's it.
So you're losing the weight the right way. So you're not losing. That's why we check. We check to see your BMI. We check to see your fats and everything. What
cholesterol?
Yes,
everything.
your cholesterol, your everything.
It's a full package.
Just the last
one. Thank you very much.
On how to register. please go on 3news.com.
Okay.
The banner is there.
Okay.
Click register and send the mobile money. It's 200 cedis.
Okay.
You can pick up
so
forms.
you go on to 3news.com. You find the Fact to Fit banner.
Click on it.
And then click on it.
And then fill the form. Very short.
Okay.
And then you pay 200 cedis. The mobile number is there.
Mobile money number.
You can pick up forms at Airport Shell,
Okay.
Aviation Social Center, TV3 here, 3FM. At the Accra Mall, when you go to game, you pick up forms there.
Right.
You can call 0548 692 355 for more information.
Okay. Take your time and give the number.
0548 692 355.
Okay.
0548.
And you will lose weight.
And join us, lose weight. You know, live healthy, enjoy life, embrace.
I thank you very much. He's a certified weight loss expert, and Be the Bully will be knocking on your door. Get up, get up. So the thing is this, 12th of January, we're beginning another season, a 6th season of 3FM's Fat to Fit Challenge to lose weight the right way. We're gathering at the Aviation Social Center for all of this. Now, the question is, if you have a pot belly and you don't have the right wallet to support it, I think it's an illegal structure. We'll take a break now.
Welcome back to the show once again, and soon we'll let you know exactly what's on the pages of the newspapers. But Winston has just joined me here this morning. Johnny is also here. Winston, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bright. Good morning, Johnny.
You are the odd one.
Good morning.
I know. I normally wouldn't come around. I'll be somewhere on radio on 3FM 92.7 doing my thing. So.
Anyway.
It was like he heard we were holding a Meet the Press or something. That's what he said.
That's a good morning to Bright Asempa as well on the New FM 95.1.
That bored old man.
Oh.
Well, you're also a victim, so it doesn't
No, I'm not bored. I just want to keep it down.
Johnny, don't pass any comments.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm okay. I admit it's okay.
Yesterday, you met the president. What are your impressions?
Well, I think that if we're going to meet the press and encounter with the president, where journalists were expected to ask questions, and it started with the organizers saying that indicate the areas that you want to ask questions. So, I mean, if you're asking people to indicate areas, it only would make sense that when the president comes in, we zoom straight into questioning. But if the president comes in and presents a mini State of the Nation address, telling us everything that has happened, in fact, he spoke for about 40 minutes. Okay, so that in itself defeats the purpose, because here you had a situation where many journalists could not ask questions. And so then you ask yourself, what was it all about? So were we there to listen to the president tell us what he's done over the past 2 years? Something we've been hearing every now and then. I mean, not long ago, where the budget was presented in Parliament. The budget captured everything that had been done and what was going to be done going forward. And so I felt that the organizers, just didn't get it right on that score. Going forward, I think they should create a situation where journalists, once they come in and you ask them to choose areas, they zoom straight into asking questions and not have the president present a State of the Nation address.
Senior Bright,
Johnny, is the same thing. I think that organizers will need to take another look at this. Look, don't let this become a ritual where every president will want to do the same. Bring journalists together, spend 1 hour with them, let them ask 6, 10, 15 questions, and it ends. It will become one of the many things we do with very little effect. Open the thing up, get journalists more time to ask questions. For me, that's
it. But the president said that he was in a hurry to go somewhere, so he couldn't take all the questions. But I understand that he was there exchanging pleasantries.
Oh, when he finished, he was there. I mean, exchanging pleasantries. But
look, how did that make you feel that
we know how
you had
busy,
questions to ask? Both of you couldn't ask your questions.
We know how busy the president is. He has a lot of work to do. In fact, we're even told that he wasn't around. He just dropped and had to put in all that work to be able to meet the media just because. And he himself told us that he had actually forgotten that he had promised 2 times a meeting with the media. And so just realized that today is, what's today's date? 19th. We're getting to the end of the year. The second one is yet to take place. So quickly we needed to fix this one. And so for me, he's a very busy person, not 2 ways about it. But This is also important.
But I would have thought that,
this
well, I mean, if the Ministry of Information had put this together and his office at the presidency had put this together, he would have been reliably informed, so he doesn't say he, you know, he had forgotten literally about it. More, for me, it sounded as if we were not invited. That's how it sounded. But both of you wrote your names to ask questions. Why weren't you called to ask questions?
I mean, Johnny, Johnny, need to. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go into that. You see, the challenge is.
Why would you go into that? You wrote your name to ask a question.
You wrote your name to ask a question.
You had a question.
You were not called to ask a question. But my other challenge is that, so if there's a list of those who want to ask questions in their areas, which the information minister has, and he's flipping through and calling them, it's important you know the criteria that goes into who gets to even ask a question. Right. You see, hitherto it was people lifting up, they're raising their hands. But they are captured on television. So at least you know, oh, this person has been called. That you could. But when you have a list in front of you and you're flipping, on the economy, is this person, is you know, this opens, I mean, up for a lot of questioning as to what really
goes into the
into selecting who gets to ask what question and on what sector.
If you look at the collection of journalists who had put their questions, what sense did you get that we're looking for familiar faces, we're looking for known names, we're looking for... What were we looking for?
Johnny wouldn't be able to read into the head of the information minister, but he had the forms in front of him, and so he picks it up and calls them. As to what went into selecting those that he did, I mean, you can't tell. But for me, the key thing here is that we need to have time to do this. We cannot say that the president doesn't have time. We know he's busy, but let us find time to do it if we want this to be effective. Other than that, I am saying that it will become a ritual that every president will do, and the impact will be negative.
Then the question comes, should we have a regional-based encounter with the president?
Well, why not?
So that we can have time for everybody, because Kwame Dinkra, for example, came from the Ashanti region to join us here.
Exactly.
If we had one in the Ashanti region, he would have had his own time to ask that.
For me, this is free advice. The president, he told us that he's toured every region.
Right.
For me, this is free advice. The information ministry can quickly fix this kind of meeting. If next year the president is expected to do the same tour of the 10 regions, they can fix meeting journalists into his
itinerary.
Exactly.
For every region.
And by way of another free advice, a bit of free advice, next time, just get the president to open himself up to questions. He doesn't need to come in there and tell us what and present a State of a Nation address. 40 minutes is a long time. If it's 2 hours you want the president to meet the press, it should be questions, because in any case, this just comes on the back of the presentation of a budget in February next year. And the questions would actually get the president to tell us everything that he has done over the period. Okay? So that's what it has to be done.
Anyway, Wednesday night will take leave of us. It goes back onto 3FM 92.7 to Sunrise Morning Show. Good morning to you, Brighter Semper. Let's check out some of your messages. You've been answering. Tilapia, ahead of that, had put up this one. He says, well, Oga response to controversial pickings. National Cathedral, Kelny GVG deal, $12 million drone contract. Meet the press and the journalists there. Anxiously waiting for their turn to ask questions yesterday. Most of them couldn't get a chance to ask their question, but some of you have been ranting along with us. It says, good morning, TV3. This was the ever worst media encounter I've ever come across. The president always keeps defending his appointees. Very bad of this leader. I think this encounter was a waste of time of the press conference. Why would a president give such an answer pertaining to drone saga when 2 years into your government, you have not been able to prosecute those involved in the flying of the Guinea fowls you claimed? Padas from Accra. Good morning, TV3. Wish you guys all the best. In fact, our leaders are not solving our problems, what you say. Terrison Kumasi says, good morning, Johnny. The president and the foreign minister says any money has not been paid, but the people working at the site, who and how are they going to pay them? Good morning, please. My name is Nanama. Fuel prices increased and TV3 made a whole lot of noise about it. When the prices decreased, you're silent. Please let the Ghanaians know the good works of the president. Do you watch our business news at all? Or did you just fly in? Good morning to TV3 and its cherished listeners. With regards to the president's encounter with the media yesterday, it was good, but I suggest we should always have it based on regional level, because each area has its peculiar challenges. Bernard Balang inside Tongo in the Upper East. The president did well, you say. In fact, the good answer was on the drones and the guinea fowls flying. And our call Michael from Ejumako Besiasi says the organizers of the presidential encounter with the media must do something about the time. In my opinion, I think the president's speech was on point, and I encourage the president to give more time to the media to ask questions. Abu Finance in Wa says the president's encounter with the press was a mess. At a point, I had to bow down my head because I was so embarrassed. They're trying to cover up the president's weakness by making the encounter short. The president is not on top of issues. The drone guinea fowl statement was below the belt for me. In fact, it's not a justification. Good morning, TV3. Good morning, Ghana. In my candid opinion, this is the worst encounter I've ever witnessed. Very shallow responses from the president and his team of 111 ministers. If this is what MPP can offer Ghanaians, and I think they have the men indeed. God save Ghana from these clueless individuals, Alassane Suleiman. And the president's encounter with the media was timely, as he was able to put on to rest the issues that were bothering the minds of right-thinking Ghanaians. I echo to the president and his able lieutenants. Your TV3 Newday is one of the best, but Bright wants to, Bright wants to destroy it. How? Malik in Tamale. This is the worst media encounter since independence. It was poorly organized, and I don't think the whole government machinery prepared for the event. I was ashamed of myself as a Ghanaian, because this can only send bad signals to international world. Elijah Willie P. in Efiekuma. We can't read all your messages, but we'll take a break at this point. We'll return. There's more here on Newday. The newspaper review segment comes up shortly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Right, thanks so much for staying there. Now, Daily Graphic starts the morning and says that my government won't be distracted from core mandate of transforming economy. That's the president talking there. His photograph on the front page of the Daily Graphic at yesterday's Meet the Press. Railway sector receiving major transformation, and the Chinese woman Aisha Wang were told 4 others been deported. The Business Finder stays on the meeting yesterday with the media and says that the economy on right footing, majority of macroeconomic indicators on target. That's the president again. The Ghanaian Times carries that story. At the media encounter, President slams opposition, says allegations against members of government lack merit, and then drone services corporate bodies to pay for it. The president. The Daily Guide also stays with the encounter. No probe on bogus Oslo allegations. Nana Oke's drone deal. That's the one on the Daily Guide. All other papers focusing on the meeting yesterday. My guest this morning, Nana Damo, is a member of the NPP, is just with me here in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope
sir.
You're doing great.
By the grace of God.
Thanks for joining us. And then a member of parliament for the South Dai constituency, a member of the NDC, Honorable Roxanne Dafiamekpo is also here. Good morning too.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing great.
It's tired. Fine.
Okay, you're soldiering on for country. Right, grateful for your time. Let's start our conversation yesterday. Now, if you take a look at the Daily Graphic and all the finder this morning, let's begin with the economy. The president says that the economy is on right footing. We're going to virtually discuss the meeting yesterday, so all aspects of the address will be touched on this morning. And the finder says that the president says his government has succeeded in putting the Ghanaian economy on a sound footing, ready for rapid growth in 2019 and succeeding years. According to the president, as a result of our policy, the fundamentals of our economy are in the right place. The foundation has been laid for the rapid growth and development we expect next year and succeeding years. The president, who was addressing the media yesterday, said before the close of the year that in almost 2 years that we've been privileged to run the affairs of our country, everything we have done has been aimed at building a strong economy. And his argument is based on the fact that the macroeconomic indicators, inflation, interest rates, and all others are pointing to the right direction. Nana, then people come in and say that the indicators are right. Inflation is single digit. GDP growth is great, 6.8%. But the claim, and there were about 2 questions yesterday on the economy, suggesting that these figures are right. And yet, the people, or some people, say that the economy isn't that good for them. What is wrong?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning to your listeners as well. I believe that the President gave a very succinct and clear answer to that question when he said that there's always a lag between the implementation of policy and when we begin to actually experience what the results of that policy are. Now, bear in mind the fact that this was not a flat ground when this government came into power. This government was handed power from a previous party that had run a deficit, that had run us into an IMF program, that had managed to ensure that our rate of growth, GDP growth rate, has slowed, that other indices were looking in the wrong direction. Now, it takes quite a lot to be able to correct the wrongs that had been done and then put us back on the right path. And then as we stay on the right path, the gains of such transformation will be seen with the Ghanaian people. So the critical point here is not that the figures are wrong. And I like the fact that this morning we all seem to be, on one page in accepting that, yes, the figures are right. And yesterday the President was very, very instructive when he said that when some people sometimes seek to make it look as though he is given a glossy picture. But it is not a glossy picture. Those are the realities. The figures are looking right. But look, at what cost have we gotten here? That's also another matter that we need to look at. Because if you are in an IMF program, for instance, one of the burdens that were imposed upon us was that we could not employ. So that was going to come at a cost to this country. Another burden that was imposed upon us was the fact that we were not at liberty to even engage in some activities that we could normally engage in as a sovereign country. It's instructive to note that when we did the Sino-Hydro deal, for instance, our friends on the minority decided to go and report us, in quotes, to the IMF, believing that we should not be able to do such a transaction, which was going to improve the infrastructure resources in our country. All of these point to the restraints that were laid upon us. Bear in mind the fact that we've also we are just about wrapping up the financial sector, the banking sector cleanup, which has also come at a very heavy cost. Money that otherwise would have been available for other interventions within the country. But be that as it may, the government has also managed to employ 100,000 people under the NAPCO program. The government has also managed to ensure that with all of these difficulties present, we have managed to roll out the free SHS policy, which is a saving in a way for parents whose wards are going through the free SHS as it stands. So we understand that, yes, things are not as people would want them to be. We understand that we don't live in a paradise now. But what we are also saying is that, look, you gave us this country to handle. In 2 years, these are the results of our work. You may not be necessarily experiencing all the goodies that you would want to experience at this present time. But what is reassuring is the fact that everything is in the right path, and it is only a matter of time before the gains of these things are known. It's interesting to know that we are all reporting a food glut, and it's out there for the people of Ghana to see.
Is it not normal? I mean, this is a time that we see the bumper harvest, but isn't the key issue as to how to ensure that in the next 3 months the same food glut is there?
Yesterday you heard clearly that 80 warehouses had been constructed across the length and breadth of the country. You've also heard that the National Buffer Stock Company has been resourced. You know that the Free SHS is working through the National Buffer Stock Company to ensure. So let's see in 3 months how these things, and that's why I'm saying that there is always a time lag between the implementation of a policy and the experiencing of the results. So as 80 new warehouses that previously were non-existent have been put in force, let's see how that helps improve the situation or otherwise. If it does not meet the standard, then clearly what government will do is readjust these parameters and go back to correct the wrongs, and gradually over time we will get to where we want to get to.
Honorable Dafiame, so the question here is that the economy was handed over to the government not in the best of state. but in 2 years, it's been able to put this flight on a stable condition, and that in the years to come, we'll see some money in our pocket, let me put it that way.
First of all, let me use the opportunity to say good morning to my constituents in South I and your other viewers. It's interesting hearing my brother say some of these things. The IMF that the comments from the IMF that they are bragging with, the same IMF in 2016, even though we're in an election year, said that Ghana's economy will be better in 2017 and 2018. But the point I want to make is that the figures they are churning out are contrived.
Sure.
Yes, they are contrived. How? The financial sector in this economy should be reflective of the goodies that they are trumpeting. But the financial sector is experiencing a negative growth under this government. 7 banks have collapsed. 7. Not 1, not 2, 7. A lot of other financial institutions have gone under. The ramifications are that thousands of jobs have been lost. And this government says that this economy is doing well. Yes, maybe to government appointees. but to those employees who work with these banks, who have been asked to go home, you can't speak of the goodness of the economy to their hearing, and they will accept that. That is 1. 2, this government, within 2 years, even as of yesterday, this government says it's going to borrow $3 billion through the issuance of the sovereign guarantee, sovereign bond. They are borrowed in excess of 15 billion Ghana cedis. They should tell me one single infrastructure project that they have done with this money. When you say it, they speak of free SHS. The Sino-Hydro deal that he spoke of, that we went to complain to IMF. You brought a deal to Parliament that you are describing as a butter. And yet the deal has a component that talks about interest rates. It has a component that talks about tenor. It has a component that talks about everything that is symptomatic of a loan facility. And you insist that it is a butter. And we are asking you, is this not going to add up to our public debt? You said no. So as a responsible minority group in Parliament, what do we have to do? We need to verify from IMF whether or not indeed the 2 billion that you are asking for will not add up to the public debt. IMF says yes. Okay. So why?
IMF said it will add to our public debt.
It says no. It says yes, it won't add up to our public debt. Okay. So it means that we have a 2 billion deal that we don't know where to place it. If we are unable to pay, if we are not able to process the alumina, the raw bauxite into alumina, to offset, as it were, the monies that the funds that they would have advanced to us for purposes of certain projects that we have earmarked to undertake, who is going to pay? So technically, this money under the Sino-Hydro deal will add up to our public debt. That is our position on the matter. And I'll speak to one other issue that he raised. Interest rates. Do banks come to you for loans these days? When we were in power, banks were chasing people everywhere for them to come for loan. Now your money's in the banks. You can't even access monies that you have worked hard and put in the banks. People can't access their investments. And you sit here and say that the economy is doing well. Go and ask people who are queuing at banks just to have their monies back. The banks are giving excuses. So they can tickle themselves and laugh. But the reality on the ground is that the economy is in the doldrums.
Despite the indicators
you see,
pointing
because
right direction.
Because they owe contractors in excess of 12 billion. They themselves say it.
How much of it has been?
And in addition, why? In addition to owing contractors in excess of 12 billion Ghana cedis, they themselves say that they have awarded projects in excess of 6 billion. Do you appreciate my point? So you are holding on to monies that belong to people that are supposed to pay others. You are not paying contractors. So the multiplier effect of those payments will not be felt in the economy. If you pay a contractor, he too will go and pay his suppliers. The supplier too will go and pay those other service providers. So you have contrived the economy, and you are micromanaging it, and you are touting the figures that you are getting from those micro indicators to say that on the whole the economy is doing well. Our roads are in a deplorable state. He talks about why? Have you ever heard of food shortages in Ghana? When was the last time that we experienced food shortages in Ghana?
We're told in the build-up to the 2016 election that we're importing plantain from
where?
From is it Burkina Faso?
We are importing plantain from Burkina Faso.
That's what we're told.
Is that possible?
Food aid.
So sometimes they concoct some of these things just to give you a bad name. Today they are saying that no, we are rather producing plantains. So they should stop some of these pedestrian arguments. As a country, every time there's harvest season, the food is produced in large quantities. They have introduced a policy that they say that they are building warehouses. I was hoping that he would say that because of the bumper harvest, they've instructed the managers of their warehouses to stock. I was hoping he would say that.
Most of what I saw are just at the foundation level. I've seen a few Upper West that have gotten to.
So even the building process of the silos and the warehouses will not be expedited, so that the food will go waste. Then why do we waste money and build warehouses? The warehouses should be built in the dry season, so that when it is rainy season and there's harvest time, we can stock. We stock the grains, we stock the tubers, we process the vegetables. But are we doing that? So the situation defeats the purpose for which we are struggling to build the warehouses. In my constituency, no warehouse has been built anyway in South Dye. So, well, for me and for the greater number of Ghanaians, maybe apart from government appointees like him, the economy
I see.
Is in the doldrums.
May I have the chance to respond to a few?
Yes, you can respond. We're still staying on the thing, okay. But these, if I should say, this commentary from the public, if the president says it will not distract his government from pursuing its core mandate, does it mean that the president says that you can't criticize us? Is that what the president says?
Which comment exactly?
Because I mean, the president says that certain comments from the opposition, civil society groups will not distract him from. He says that they have the right to go ahead, but it will not distract him. And I'm asking, is the president suggesting that he can't be criticized?
No, I'm not sure that he said that in reaction to questions that were asked.
He said that when a question was put to him about the fact that the minority and civil society groups were poo-pooing some of his policies, he said clear that civil society has a right to poo-poo his policies, minority can do, but that will not distract him. That's what he said.
So what I'm saying is that the question was asked on the back. You asked me this question on the back of a discussion on the economy. And so I like the fact that you've placed it into the proper context now, that the president did not say that in reaction to questions or comments on the economy, but rather to a specific question that had to deal with.
Nana, the president did not. You see, the question from the journalist was that civil society and the minority been talking about his policies, some of his policies.
So the point I'm also seeking to make
in fact, he actually used the word attacking.
Okay, well,
if I'll be given just some time to also speak, what I'm saying is that the president did not pass that comment in a direct reaction to a question on the economy or on as part of commentary on the hardship, and that is what I want us to place in the proper context, because if he had done that, it would make him appear as though he's an individual that doesn't care about the plight of the ordinary people of Ghana, and I do not believe that that is the case. What you are saying is a reaction that he gave to a separate question, and I'd want us to
if you want us to talk about the economy,
if I may,
in a similar question,
if I may,
a similar question to the president,
right? The difficulty I'm having is that the questions are being padded,
if you can,
and I'm not. I understand, but you are padding the questions and not giving me
the show.
I'm not padding.
You allow me to moderate the show. Now, in a similar question to the economy, the president said that there is money in our pocket, but maybe we're not looking well.
So which one should I answer?
Now, the key issue I'm trying for us to understand or deal with is that now the president says that these are distractions.
Which are distractions?
Issues about critiquing what he's doing. They won't distract his government. And I'm asking, is it a suggestion that we can critique government?
See, and this is what I have a problem with, the line of question, and I'll tell you why. The question, you are bunching two questions and two comments together, and I would want us to look at it within their individual context. The reason I am insisting on that is because if you do what is being done now, you create a certain perception that is wrong. For example, a specific question was asked him about commentary and critiquing of his policies by the minority and civil society organizations, to which he gave an answer. Another question was asked him about, for example, people complaining that there was no money in their pockets, and he gave a separate answer. So when we combine these together and say that the president reacted in such and such a manner, it makes it a little bit difficult to have clarity. Now, may I also state here that I have in my hands the trading figures. For example, this is just for bananas and plantain, exports to Switzerland alone. And you can see that between 2013 and 2016, the exports to Switzerland from Ghana was zero.
For banana or plantain?
Banana and plantains, fresh or dried. Now, in 2017 alone, we did over 28,000 metric tons.
So
plantain and banana, fresh or dried. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that in response to my earlier submission, the honourable member of parliament sought to poo-poo it and said it is something that is done every year. It is something that is normal. Well, if it is very normal, then the statistics are beginning to show what it is. Again, he makes mention. So may I?
You cannot. No. You cannot ask questions.
You are saying that.
Please, you cannot ask questions. I am in charge of the show. Well. If you want, just note it down. I'll speak to you. Nana, please go ahead.
Now, what I'm also saying that he says in his constituency there is nothing. And you've also said that most of the warehouses that you saw were at the foundation stages. A few have gone up. You see, the good thing I like about this is that at least the admission is there that a government has come that has a policy to do something about the fundamental problems of the people of Ghana. And you have said that you have seen that they are being constructed across, and they are very and to employ the language that was very familiar with the people of Ghana in the 2016 elections as regards some of the promises of the NDC as at the 2016 election year. They are at various stages of completion. If in 2016 you wanted us to accept that some schools were at various stages of completion, this is 2018. Why can you not accept that warehouses are at various stages of completion, and that is evidence enough of a commitment to do something about what government has promised the good people of Ghana? All in all, aimed at ensuring that we are going to see a better Ghana, which they promised the people of Ghana anyway. A better Ghana that they promised the people of Ghana for all of us. Again, that's one thing that I find very, very strange. That Honorable Dafia Mekpo is complaining that the financial sector is seeing a negative growth. I'm sorry, but were we supposed to continue with the more practices that were going on in the financial sector?
Do you accept the fact that there's a negative growth?
Well,
Bank of Ghana is reporting.
Listen,
listen.
Do you that in itself, the fact that there is a negative growth is testament of the fact that work is being done in the negative sector. Listen, if you build a house on a foundation that has a problem, and you actually have to tear down parts of the building to correct it, everybody knows that that is a better approach than to continue to attempt to complete a mansion and one day have it all cave in and break down. Yes, there have been some job losses as a result of that. But in no problem. But in the process, 1.2 million Ghanaians have had their savings protected by the government of Ghana. So government had to make a critical decision of either letting the thousands of people have their jobs and one day it will all come crashing down on us, or save 1.2 million. The other thing that he conveniently ran away from was the fact that, look, your government made decisions that led to that critical point where a decision had to be made between the savings of Ghanaians and the jobs of thousands of Ghanaians. 1.2 million versus, let's say, 3,000 or 2,000 Ghanaians. If you had provided good leadership, which you promised the people of Ghana, we would not have had to make that decision. But you see, even in the United States of America, when the Even in the United States of America, when it got to that crunch point where the financial crisis set in, the government had to make decisions. Some people had to lose their jobs for the entire...
They didn't close their banks.
Well, but some people had to lose their jobs, and those are facts. Some banks actually went under. Lehman Brothers today doesn't exist. And these are hard facts that today is ensuring that the financial economies around the world, I mean the banking sector around the world, did not entirely collapse. And at least the US managed to maintain some sanity in its systems. Okay. If that is what you are using to justify that there's a negative decline and so it is bad, this government is part of that decision. It was a hard one. And if you listen to the first State of the Nation address that was given by this president, he was very clear that, listen, we are in a mess. He specifically mentioned the financial sector and said, we will have to take some painful decisions, but we have to be bold. If not, the building will come crashing down. Okay, and we've done that. To answer your question on...
Hold on. You haven't answered the question.
No, I haven't. I've actually answered your propaganda.
Okay. Please,
I spoke to facts.
No, those are not facts.
You don't even appreciate the meaning of the
word propaganda. Those are not facts.
When we confront you with facts...
What are the facts? Confront me with the facts.
Please go on.
Please confront me with the facts.
Quick reaction and then we can go.
He says that they had to take some hard decisions in the financial sector.
Because your government did not manage the financial sector well.
Why? What shows? Somebody is managing his Unibank. All right? And you come in and decide that because the bank is not capable of meeting the presently raised from 100 million, 120 million to 400 million minimum capital,
was that the reason Unibank was made?
Why?
Was that the reason?
Why? What was the reason? What was the reason?
Right. Help.
Why? What was the reason? Why did you collapse Unibank?
Right, help viewers.
You intentionally collapsed the banks. Who says that a bank cannot operate with a minimum capital of 120
Was that the reason Unibank was made?
What was the reason?
Right, please be clear. Help us.
What was the reason? You sat here and spoke so far about nothing.
No problem.
What was the reason?
Ask help all of us.
Please allow him.
No, right.
What was the reason for you collapsing Base Bank? What was the reason?
Right, help us again.
Tell me.
If the Bank of Ghana suggests, for instance, that certain documents they had were not proper, certainly the bank would take a decision.
So what I want was the reason that they could not meet their capital.
Why? When you were talking,
you please allow him to talk.
Who licensed Base Bank? He should tell me. Base Bank and Consolidated Bank. Who licensed them? Sovereign Bank. Who licensed them? You granted the license to the bank during 2017.
After they received the provisional licenses.
And what are you saying?
When did they receive their provisional licenses?
Provisional licenses. You granted the provisional licenses. You granted
it. Are you sure you know?
Yes, check.
Please go on. Don't get distracted.
I am saying that they intentionally ran these banks aground.
Was it not to save depositors?
Which depositors? So banks, hold on. Banks that have not been run aground, which depositors cannot access their funds. So what have you done? Other banks are existing where customers cannot access their funds. So if you say that you save 1.2 million depositors, I don't get it. Because there are existing banks that people go to their bank, they cannot access their funds. So it is neither, there are other cynical agenda for them doing this. They should stop this talk about we didn't manage it well, we didn't do that and all that.
Let's touch on this, the front daily graphics front page. My government won't be distracted from its core mandate. If you take a look at a paragraph here, this is what the president says. However, one thing that has been clear to me is that every step...
But you asked that question
yes.
already, so I will address it. He has spoken to it.
Okay, so, that's why I want us to move on.
So I will you spoke to it.
Did I?
Now this was the point. The president is saying that where, as a responsible minority, we raise issues, we raise the issue, even though we raise the issues, he will not be distracted. We are not raising the issue so that he gets distracted. We are raising the issue so that he will take decisions and fire people. And I'll tell you why. You came to parliament with your budget, his own budget, read by the finance minister. And for instance, at paragraph 415, I should think so, about this Oslo matter. And he calls the foreign minister Madam Oslo. He says, government open new resident consular posts in Niamey, Niger, and Tripoli, Libya, with the aim to better serve our compatriots and to play a pivotal role in finding solutions to immigration and security-related issues, as well as strengthening the bilateral and economic ties with those countries. Government also opened a resident diplomatic mission in Oslo, Norway, and 2 consulates general in Port Louis, Mauritius, and Guangzhou in China. This is what you are saying in your budget. You won't find the scandals in the mother document. You find the scandals in the estimates. So we were waiting for the estimates.
Is the argument not the fact as to whether some money is being paid?
Why? You are speaking. This is what you are saying in your budget. You are saying that government also opened a resident diplomatic mission in Oslo, Norway. You are speaking in the past tense. I am not speaking the English for you.
Has some money been paid?
Why? You said you have done it. So we were waiting for the estimate. When they brought the estimate, they are going to borrow money from SGS.
Yes, Society General.
Okay, that is money we're told was already there.
Exactly.
It's not this government that borrowed.
To do certain things, i.e. to renovate some of the consular offices, build new ones, and acquire new ones. And as part of that program, you have earmarked 16.5 million. The money that people are saying 12 million, it's not 12 million. 16.5 million for the Oslo property. They have signed agreements. There are things to be done. In the estimates, then we ask questions. We want to see the valuation reports. We can't find it. We want to see that the contract of purchase, they won't provide. When the committee wrote to the foreign minister on the 12th of December, asking for these things, she won't answer. She appeared before the committee on the 6th of December with her estimates.
Are you a member of the committee?
I'm not a member, but I'm a friend. I have the right to be there. So we queried the figures. Then we conducted our independent searches. Then we discovered that this particular property in question, was recently sold for less than, just above $3 million. And it's being offered to us, and we have voted money. And if you check the estimate, we are saying that we are committed to making this payment by the end of this month, 31st December 2018.
Please show me those estimates.
Please. I'll show you.
Yes, so show us.
So when the matter broke, and as scandalous as it is, then they are backtracking. If the minister said that as of 12 December, she's written
to cancel
it, why do you come to parliament and move parliament for that estimate to be approved for you?
Can you prove that some money is being paid?
Why should I prove that? You have come to parliament that for your 2018 budgetary commitment, all right, you have made this payment. You are going to give these monies out. And for your 2019 projects, we should approve these other figures for you. And you persuaded Parliament and we approved the things.
But she told us that when she got to know the fact that the deal is a bit not prudent, she asked for its withdrawal. So no amount of money.
Hold on. At what point did she get to know that the deal was a bad one?
She said that was on 12th of December.
12th of December, the day the committee chairman wrote to her?
Yes, I have the committee chairman's letter here.
Can you read it?
The committee asking for certain report, valuation report, ownership and property report, and then the purchase agreement and the contract of purchase.
She can't, up to now, she can't provide these things.
Right.
And yet you put these things in your budget for Parliament to approve.
I'm coming to you.
And we have actually approved the figures. That is what is bothering me.
Parliament has approved.
Yes.
We
have approved the estimates containing those figures.
Okay.
So
but the minister says nothing has been paid.
Why? So why would you see? This is the question. That is why we are saying they are deceiving the public.
No problem.
They are deceiving the public.
Okay.
They are not telling us. So would the $16.5 million be deducted from the budget estimate that we approved for him? Would it be deducted?
May I borrow a document?
Let me speak.
You won't borrow my document.
Let me speak to Nana. You can get it. The minister yesterday told the media that nothing has been paid.
Right. The essential thing here is that in these matters we need to go back to basics.
Take the documents of your.
I'm sorry. We need to go back to basics. That is the basis of contract law. Offer and acceptance. May I?
Is that an area you want to go into?
Yes, and I'll just read something to you and explain to you where their confusion lies. And point 419, this is what it says. Government has opened a new resident consular post in Niamey, Niger, and Tripoli, Libya, with the aim to better serve our compatriots.
I've read that already.
May I please, to play a pivotal role in finding solutions to immigration and security-related issues, as well as strengthened by law. Now, this is where it is important. Government has also opened, and bear in mind the word opened, a resident diplomatic mission in Oslo, Norway. Their misunderstanding of this is that because government is saying we have opened, it means we have a building and everything is working. The question you need to ask yourself then is that as we speak, government is saying it has opened, but that particular building in question, is the government of Ghana using it as a chancery, or are we even using it as a residence?
It's for both. That's why they say it's a 6-bedroom. It's a 6.
Don't say Charlie. Honorable, you allow him.
Very well.
Please go on. Nana, go on.
Thank you very much. Now, the processes of opening a diplomatic mission, is it just an issue of you go and acquire a building and you say this is the what do I call it? The diplomatic mission of Ghana in Norway, for instance? No, there are various permissions that you have to write and acquire. Once you have acquired those permissions, what is then left is the physical building for operations to begin.
Right.
But immediately you have gotten the relevant documentation, which then gives you permission to acquire a building and use. You have opened it. And their misunderstanding is stemming from the fact that, yes, government is saying here that we have acquired all the necessary permissions for us to be able to operate.
That is not what government is saying. No.
I am coming to you.
No, I speak English.
Yes,
that is not what government is saying. He just said that when you acquire all the necessary permits and you acquire the facility, then you open it.
The key thing,
that's what you said. You are rather confused.
Hold on. The key, you see, because of time, the key thing is the minister has told us that nothing is being paid. This parliament has been asked to approve this money for this chancery. What is it? What is really happening?
I'll answer all of this, but then I just want to underline the fact that the confusion inherent lies in just the understanding of the word opened.
Great. So it's not being opened.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So when the House approves this estimate, what will it be used for?
Good. Now, may I go back to this point? Because it's very critical that the people of Ghana understand. Once you have acquired the necessary permissions to be able to operate a diplomatic mission, you have opened it. What then is left is that you have to physically, for your residents, to be able to, or for Ghanaians in Norway, to be able to find a place to go to attend to their need. You have to operationalize it by getting a building, which is the processes that are underway now. So their confusion lies in the fact that because we say we've opened, we must have acquired the building before. That's not necessarily the case.
Okay.
That's point one. Point two is actually the fact that, listen, that's why I said let's go back to the basics of what a contract is. The minister is saying that no, we have not gone to pay any monies. We have not entered into any contract or anything of the sort. She was also very clear in explaining that, look, we have to go through several processes. Even before any money is disbursed, the Public Procurement Authority will have to come in to ensure that the valuation is done and it is done right. So all of these documents that they are asking for in the letter, the truth of the matter is that they don't exist. Why doesn't it exist? Because we haven't even gotten to that stage. Honorable Dafia Mepo sat here and said that government in its estimate said that we are going to make payments by the end of December this year. I therefore want to challenge him to provide that portion of the estimates that says that we are going to make payments before December to the budgetary issues. Listen,
yeah. So hold on.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Okay. Yeah,
to the budgetary estimates in this country, does it therefore mean that every item that has been budgeted for by hook or crook has been paid for? What is a budget?
Okay. Okay.
May
so,
I?
so
No, it's just a basic question.
Nana, you've answered the question, because I was going to ask you that if the processes are not done, why approved? But
so
you have asked the question.
They are estimates.
Yeah,
you cannot spend above that, but you can spend within that.
You claim that the estimates
will be paid before the end of December.
Show us. Which document?
This is the committee's report that they brought plenary. And I refer to
the floor of the House.
To the floor of the House.
Okay.
And I refer to paragraph 7 of the report.
Okay.
Now, paragraph 7 contains a table, and it is titled Summary of Disbursement. Now, under that, there's a item B, say commitments to be paid in 2018. I'm not speaking the English. Okay, Geneva, purchase of chancery, $3 million. To be paid this year, 2018. Vatican, purchase of residency, $2 million. Paris, chancery, residence and relocation cost, $5.2 million. Tel Aviv, purchase of chancery, $4.5 million. Cotonou, purchase of residency, $1.1 million. Bamako, construction of chancery, $100,000. Oslo, purchase of chancery and residency, subtotal for 2018, $16.5 million.
Okay, so this is the estimate that was brought to the House.
Hold on, no. You see, in addition to approving the estimate for 2019, she's saying that we have to approve these ones for their commitment
to be
for
paid
2018.
for 2018.
That's right.
And then the
minister, and this is what. Hold on, please. Okay. And this is what Parliament approved of.
And then
so Parliament has approved.
Would you comport yourself?
You asked
for documents. I've confronted you with the documents.
I had my time.
So Parliament has approved this.
We have.
But the minister is insisting that nothing has been paid.
Yes.
So did you come to hoodwink Parliament?
How?
Is that what governance has been reduced?
No, but how is this hoodwinking Parliament?
It is a laughable point to
how is it
for you to sit here and tell me that you want to argue about
if I speak of bus branding, 3.6 million was paid.
What are you saying?
Today, as we speak, if I speak of SADA, everybody knows the amount of money that was paid.
But for the fact that the minority raised this matter,
the fact that the minority did well,
because they have entered into several agreements under this contract.
Stopping. Where are the agreements?
You haven't stopped.
Where are the agreements?
You haven't stopped.
Where are the agreements?
Because you see,
I'm grateful, gentlemen.
It is because of things like this. That is why we must hurry up with the Right to Information Bill.
But you had the chance to pass it in 8 years.
Gentlemen, I'm grateful.
8 years in government. You can't withhold some of these things forever. See,
the point is
Parliament has.
All right, gentlemen, I'm grateful. Nana Damoah is a member of the NPP, and Honorable Dafia Mepo is a member of Parliament for South Guy.
As you struggle to come out, the more you sing.
Where are the guinea fowls?
Guinea fowls.
Okay, stay with us. There's more coming up.
The song is so old, but it sounds so new each time you hear it. But where I come from, in Ghana, there's never Christmas that's complete without this man. Where I come from, in Accra, where I live, 24th Nights franchise has been sold and bought by this man altogether. And when he puts up his enthralling show on the 24th night, you can't miss it, because that's the penultimate. So to the Christmas celebrations. I'm talking about the multiple award-winning, the favorite son of Africa, the quintessential musician, the music man himself, Kojo Antwi. He's in the house. Chief, good morning one more time.
Sir.
And Merry Christmas in advance to you.
Many happy returns.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
The last time you were here, you told me about your first girlfriend. You told me about.
Yes, I did. Oh.
Very exciting things. Yeah. We're getting ready for the 24th night concert.
Yeah.
But before that, I've seen that over the years you've shifted the venue from the National Theatre to other venues. Yeah. Does that speak of the fact that we lack spaces to host events?
We do.
In this country?
We do. I have spoken about these in a lot of my, most of my interviews, because you see the capacity of a conference center wasn't even built for events.
Right.
National Theatre was, but a population of over 30 or about
29.6 million.
Where?
30,
yeah. You do not expect someone who lives all the way at Ajin, Ghana, or Trasako, wherever, to drive 2 hours to come to National Theatre after the event. Drive maybe an hour because the traffic is gone down. Right. That is not fair. You see, we have all these estate developers, and it must be part of a scheme that if you build about 100 or 200 houses, there must be a recreation center, a place that the capacity may be just for about 400, 500.
Right.
But then you create a place that people can go to, a multi-purpose kind of space that you can do a lot of, recreational activities. Right. You understand what I'm saying? But we have just a few centers, and most of when I was growing up and when I wanted to be a musician, if you decided to go on tour, just at Circle, you could play at Tito, Apollo Theatre, Lido, and a whole lot of other places. Before I entered showbiz, there was Silver Cup. There was even a place that where you find our presidents. He had a place, Ring Road. There were a lot of activities. I'm talking about just Circle. Then there was the Orion Cinema.
Absolutely.
That you could also have performances. Where are they now?
They're all gone.
All gone.
How is that impacting our arts industry or music industry?
It has a lot of impact on us that even the policymakers don't realize. You see, this part of our world, we are the ones who swallow food. We swallow banku. I hope I'm not deviating.
No, it's okay.
We swallow banku, we swallow fufu, we swallow all the, and then we allow the stomach to work on it. That's why God gave us ampe, tumatu, and the palogo, so that after the heavy food, you dance, you move. By the time you retire to bed,
it's all digested. And all.
Now we eat the same food and we sit behind television with our remote control, changing channels.
We're growing pot bellies.
You see what I mean? But we are not realizing that movement of the body has an impact on us as a nation, because if you don't have healthy people, you have to spend most of our taking care of them.
Right.
You understand? So every time it becomes who built how many hospitals and who built that. You understand? Music is therapeutic.
Somebody said that yes, the musicians are demanding for these things, and I know you're part of them.
Yeah.
But not many within your ranks fulfill their tax obligations. I know you are. You will pay your taxes, and you will encourage others to.
Yes.
But not many people within the music space pay their taxes, and yet they are the first to demand whose money should we use to build these things.
When they say we don't pay taxes, I think, you see.
Not all of you. I'm saying, for example, if you have your 24th night concert, GRA will be there.
Of course.
You pay withholding taxes.
Before you start selling the tickets.
Exactly. And then you will have to go and declare your tax at the end of the year.
Sure.
You will do that.
Yeah.
There are a lot more musicians who won't do that.
Well,
because they won't put together a show where GRA can come there, because they won't go for a gig where they'll have to pay 7% withholding tax.
The system must be structured. We need a structure that if I do a gig for corporate bodies, that system is taken care of in the contract.
Right.
There's a certain percentage that goes.
Exactly, 7% withholding tax.
All my downloads on MTN platforms, taxes are deducted.
These are everywhere else.
Everywhere. But then when it comes to those shows that are due like private parties and, you know, but I have a company that payments are done through that.
Right.
And so it is...
The Rainbow Tribe will do that.
Rainbow Tribe, but Freedom Family Entertainment will do that.
But then I'm saying that there are others who don't do it.
That's the system we inherited.
So whose money should we use to build these halls which will eventually benefit the musician? That's the question.
I think, you see, before you start asking the musician and we complain about venues, I think there are systems that must be put in place.
Tell me about
I think
them.
some of the corporate bodies must have you know, tax holidays. If you can come out and produce shows or promote shows across the nation, number of shows. Go to Ivory Coast. They do same.
Right.
And that encourages a lot of activities, and there is a system. You understand what I'm saying? The whole music industry has been left in the hands of private people looking for profit. You can blame them for doing that. But then there must be a system that when a company can sponsor a number of events, not just that, but even the pan logo that I spoke about,
to incentivize them to do more.
Exactly. Then the system will take care of those aspects. You see, when a musician plays a show and he collects, let's say, about 50,000 a gig, that musician is waiting for the next gig in 5 months.
Right.
Have you thought about it? Because we don't have the venues,
the means to push these things,
to get him working all the time. In other countries, you can go for grants.
Have our governments failed us in this enterprise?
I think so.
The MPP administration, for example, in their manifesto said they were going to restructure all the arts centers we have and perhaps add on some more, the film village and the rest. 2 years into the government, we have not seen it. What are your own assessments, especially of the minister for tourism, culture, and creative arts?
There are difficulties. I know that there are difficulties. What it takes a lot. You see, we had a system. I remember, I've spoken about it. I remember recording Groovy album right here. Right here.
In this
place. Ghana Films, whatever. You could come and have access to this. It was a government initiative. Somebody started it to create the means for musicians to have a place to go to. You know, some of the initiatives that I'm hearing, I heard about that our ministry, the creative arts and
culture and tourism.
I heard about the what do you call, some of my colleagues being appointed as ambassadors. It was a great thing. But if you choose someone like Nana Padu as an ambassador, find him some students from NAFTI to create his ideas into animation. But don't tell me Nana Padu becomes an what do you call, an ambassador and he goes to Boti Falls. Nana Padu has all these beautiful stories. When he was singing them, there was someone in the US called Walt Disney who was animating Cinderella, whilst we had someone who was narrating them. We didn't have it in script, but he has narrated them in songs. Why don't we have them in...
If you had a chance to advise the president or the minister for tourism, culture and creative arts on how to better your lot, one advice, what would it be?
One advice?
Yes.
I think they should. I think what I will have so much to. I mean, one thing will be difficult. One thing will be difficult. I think they are trying to do something. Quite recently, we had Afrima, which was great. But if I had the chance of advising the ministry on Afrima, I would tell them, let's create our own thing something made by Ghanaians that we can export after some time. You understand what I'm saying? That is one thing. I felt they were trying to do something for us. Great thing. They say the next 2 years will still be part of Africa, but what happens afterwards? So we need something
that we can own.
The Ghanaian music is, quite recently I hear Kwame Eugene was in Sierra Leone. A hero. Why are we not tapping into all that? You go to Gabon, some of them are touring in Gabon. Why don't we have a system helping them out?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot. There is not one thing that can.
It's a concerted effort.
Correct.
Let's take a look at one of my favorite Kojo tracks, Adia Pena. You're looking for the thing, but it's hard to find.
When I'm so concerned, mommy, for you. When I'm so concerned, me who say, walk around, me trouble. When I'm so concerned, me shall soon cry. Me shall manchiano. That's my hobby. Me to you. Me best me tip one more time. Me
That's Kojo Entry's Adia Pena, the very animated song. You are very animated. Are we going to see that on the 24th?
A lot more.
A lot more.
A lot more. You see, I took the show from National Theatre to Kempinski to Labadi Beach Hotel because it gives me that intimate feel.
I see.
You know, the fans are right in your face, and you know the guitarist is right in your face, and I get to do different things. You know, at the theater, people were talking about the intro, the outros, and what I do.
Yeah,
this time around, it's totally different.
I saw you come on a horse one time.
Yeah.
I saw you on a petal bed. I saw you fly in.
I've done everything I did that. But I mean, get to this space. 2 years ago, we had this Welcome to the Maestro's joint.
Right.
You know, and it was like we had a menu.
Will you come in a drone this time around? The drone is very popular.
Yeah, probably.
Where are we meeting this year?
Labadi Beach.
Labadi Beach.
La Beach Hotel.
La Beach Hotel. Okay, and it's on the 24th.
It is on.
Tickets are selling where?
Labadi Beach Hotel, Airport Shell. There's a place around Aviation Road, Nyaho Clinic Road called Breeze FM.
Breeze FM.
Yeah,
okay. How much are we paying?
500.
500 only.
300.
Okay.
And 150.
150.
But it comes with leather chops, and you know, it's a whole.
It's a whole package.
Yeah.
Experience. I see. Who is performing with you on the night? I know you always have. This is my final question to you. I know you always have space for youngsters to come out. Who is performing with you tonight?
Della Butri.
Della Butri is there.
And
the Wale Sounds.
Yeah. Kofi Kenata is on. Sue, there's this brilliant, energetic young lady from, a Ghanaian, you know. And then my Ivorians will be there. Kwame Ewa is with me. My band is there. There's a saxophonist, a great guy who, so it's going to be a remarkable.
The maestro, Kojo Entry, as always. 24th is never complete without Kojo Entry. Christmas is never complete, so you go out there, get a ticket, and join the big fat party. We need to celebrate Christmas in grand style, and it can only be done with the maestro. After the break, there's more here on Newday. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to the show. Now, let's talk about what you're going to do in 2019 and how you'll be able to focus on it and achieve it. My guest this morning is a motivational speaker. He will help you set goals in 2019 and achieve them. Jeremiah Boabeng is my guest. Good morning. Hope you are doing great.
I'm very well, and you?
I'm good too. So 2019, how do you set goals that you can achieve?
Well, I'll first start by saying that individuals who want to go somewhere with their lives should start treating their lives with the same seriousness and intensity that companies treat their lives. Because at this point in December, every company that really wants to do well in 2019 have already set their goals for the year. So if you're an individual who wants to really do well in life, you want to make impact, you want to be able to deploy your talents and really shine in the world, you need to take your life with the same seriousness and intensity. And the first step to doing that is to be clear about exactly what you want to achieve.
So you set goals ahead.
Exactly.
You don't wait till 31st?
You don't wait till 31st. If you wait till 31st, you're too late. if you're somebody who is already in the habit of setting goals for your life every year, you already have been thinking about what you did this year, what went well, what didn't go well, and what you like to do for the next year. So don't enter any year without clear, specific goals that you want to achieve in that year. Every year, there must be one central goal that is pivoting your life, pivoting your agenda that you want to achieve. Every other thing can become a subset or a subsidiary of that central goal. The challenge for many people is that...
Even before you talk about the challenge, is that to suggest that you should not set more than a goal?
Not necessarily, but the fewer the goals, the better. Because, like I was about to say, the challenge for many people is that they have too many competing goals. So in 1 year, they want to get married, they want to buy a car, they want to buy land. If you're not somebody who gets a lot of income and resources, the possibility that you achieve these things is very low. However, if the goal was just 1 or 2, then you increase your chances of achieving the goal remarkably, because you are one person with a few resources, but with unlimited goals. So in order to maximize your resources, focus.
So setting a key goal and perhaps adding a few goals is the point you're making.
It's a strategic way of approaching your life.
And be able to achieve the goal that you have set.
A year seems very long, but a year is not that long. A few minutes ago, you were saying regarding Kojenju that a year comes very
we were
easily.
here last year.
Exactly. A year comes very quickly. So there isn't a lot that you can achieve in 1 year, especially if you're a younger person who is not building your life, who is now consolidating your income streams. Then you don't have a lot of money, because having money is significant to goal achievement. Even if you want to become a pastor, if you want to start a church, having faith is not enough. You need to have money. Somebody who has more money is more likely to build a stronger church than somebody who doesn't have a lot of money. So besides even money, there's also the issue of time. Everybody has 24 hours. There is only so much that you can do with your 24 hours. So if you have too many goals that you want to achieve, then you dilute your time, you dilute your energy, you dilute your resources across so many goals.
It is like touching too many
things. So there must be focus. Focus your strategy. So in my own life, there are a number of things that I wanted to do in the year. But I recognize the fact that there isn't so much that I can achieve. So there are certain things that you must relegate to a year or 2 in your life, so that you can have time for those things and master the few things that you can do this year and push them forward.
How bad should we feel if we're unable to achieve a goal that we set for ourselves?
It's a balance of 2 things. If you don't feel bad at all, then there will be no motivation to do better the next year. But you shouldn't also feel bad so much to the point that you give up. So there is a certain level of remorse relevant for you performing well in your next year. Let's assume that a footballer, if Jose Mourinho, who has been sacked from Manchester United, feels no remorse for his performance at Manchester United, then the possibility that he will perform abysmally again in his next club is high. So there must be some remorse, there must be some pain, some regret that I wish I'd done better.
Right.
However, it shouldn't be to the point that it will say that, oh, I did so bad, and then you give up. Then you let your powers go. Exactly. So there must be a balance. A healthy remorse that makes you work harder the next time, and then the strength to also go at it and push higher. That hunger and drive is what makes Ronaldo better and better. He's a man who refuses to become satisfied. And I think that that's one of the things that we need to learn. It's not enough for us to admire these people. We must aspire to become like them. Be hungry for more.
So
be driven to achieve.
Will drive you to achieve.
Exactly. As a matter of, if you ask me, besides the grace of God, if there's any one thing that determines how people's life turns out, it's hunger, it's drive, it's desire. A person who has average talent, who has a lot of drive, will do remarkably better than somebody who has great talent but has no drive.
Jeremiah, wrap up. The 2019 this year, in 30 seconds, speak to the people watching you. What should they do?
Everybody should set a goal. Set a goal for 2019. But go beyond just setting a goal to committing to the goal. It must be written down. And then go beyond writing it down to developing strategies. For a lot of people who set goals for the year, they don't go the extra mile to decide how the goal should be achieved. There are no strategies, there are no action plans. So the goal is just left standing without a pathway to achieving it.
I'm grateful. Gemma Wabing is a motivational speaker. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you,
hope you take heed from what he's told us. Let's take a quick musical break. There is more on the show.
Well, yeah. Oh, before prono so be kuni wa mami. If it yes no so be se dance from mami. Ne bana say, ne pata babo me, yo. Yes, your does you know mommy breakfast in bed. I think a good morning for me, eh? Some pass on dosa, not to adapt. All the men, I got a punching bag. Maybe I tell you, I'm telling you, gentlemen. Made him up for me, the woman goes on me go. I tell you, your friend, I worry me, and you mess up according to you. Tom and Jerry, I worry, dear, meeting you. When you miss you, I do, and you so be jammy, and I'm in Titia, and you.
I've been joined by two lovely ladies, Dora and Asla. We're talking a love fair. Love is in the air because Christmas has a lot to do about love, not just Valentine. Ladies, welcome. Good morning. How you doing? Kid City and Love Fair. That's what I see. Project what? Creating Smiles. What is the Love Fair?
So the Love Fair is a charity project that we started from 2014.
Okay.
And the aim is to promote public inclusion in street child care and orphanage support. So the word love is to encourage us to extend our love to the children that need it out there, the children on the streets and those on the orphanages. So it's simply a big Christmas party for them, and we encourage people to come and spend time with the kids.
So what will, how long have you done this, for example? Dora, you want to speak to that?
Okay, Love Fair, we are partnering Love
You're
Fair.
partnering them,
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
How long have you had this?
This is the 5th anniversary.
This is the 5th?
Yes.
Wow.
And we've impacted over 3,500 children with the project. And then, you know, we are saying we want to promote public inclusion in street child care. And it's been very successful because over the past 4 years, people come, they get to meet these children, they get to know the orphanages. And after the event, during the year, they go there to celebrate birthdays. We've had some members who work in corporate banks going to do a project for one orphanage, Joy Call. They renovated a whole classroom block, and we had 1 Billion Africa going to Potter's Village. So it's been amazing over the past 4 years. It's not been easy planning it, but that we must say, but it's
We'll
been
talk about
amazing.
the challenges shortly. Dora, tell me, so what are you bringing on board, Kid City?
Okay, so Kid City believes that when children play, they learn a lot. And like Nas said, we are looking at street children, we're looking at orphanages, and these are children who don't get the opportunity to have interactive play. So we wanted to partner. We partnered Love Fair before, and like she was saying, we pick our orphanages that we support every year from Love Fair. So we get to know the children from there. We get to select which orphanages we are supporting. Then throughout the year, we support them.
Is this strictly for orphanages, or you just pick people off the streets and you support them and you let them have a feel of what love means?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay,
Both.
so one, the people in the orphanages or the kids in the orphanages get support afterwards.
Yes.
What happens to those who have no place to lay their heads? What happens to them after the party?
Yeah, we have some organizations that focus on street children. We've partnered with them, and what they do is that after the event, they get into a close contact relationship with the children. The Street Academy has been working with street children for over 10 years, and they are on board. They have worked with over 4,000 street children. So as they join us, they meet more, they get into contact with them, and they support them. We have other organizations that work with the street, like Love in Action. They are not here, but then they are part as well. So even after the event, and there are some street children that we help.
Those who are begging on the
system.
streets, I'm particularly curious about those ones.
Yes, some of them don't sleep on the streets. Some of them actually have families.
They do?
But their families don't take care of them. So
Dora,
during the day,
nodding to that. Dora,
Yes.
is that true? They have families who don't take care of them.
That's true. You see, the issue we're having in Ghana right now is that people are giving birth to more than they can actually cater for. So now these people tend to be on the street. Some of them want that hope. Some of them want that kind of education, but my parents can't support. So what do you have to do? So we find these ones. Some of them who want to be in schools, you can take them back to school. Yeah. You know.
I see.
Yeah.
Wrap up for me. Where are we having this party? What time and who can attend?
Everybody can attend.
Okay.
There's something for everybody, adults and children. And then it's on the 29th of December at the A4 Sutherland Park. Exactly. And we are starting at 9 a.m. through to 4 p.m. So we're inviting everybody. Okay. There's going to be stands, there's going to be food, amazing activities, performances. It's just going to be an amazing experience.
I see. Congratulations to you for 5 times running. Dora, you have the final word.
Okay, so I want to use this opportunity to call out on all other NGOs. Like now we're saying, beyond Lafe, beyond that day, let's get more support for the children so that all year round there's love in the air.
I see. Love will be certainly in the air. Congratulations, lady. I wish you all the best. Dora and Na Aklen. On that note, we'll wrap up the show here on TV3 New Day. Thanks to Brighton Afo and Nana Majiman, Doctor. Good morning to you and Bafo as well. We'll take a break. Tomorrow, we're coming back full force to wrap up the week, you know. See you. Until that, if you know and you can think it and your heart can believe it, only you can achieve it. Good morning.